Hi everybody, so today we are going to talk about your story. This is like my take 100, so I'm just gonna go with this, so hopefully I'm not rambling and being crazy like the last one. So your story is your most valuable thing that you have in this business. Your story is what is going to make other people choose you to be their coach out of 300,000 coaches that they could choose from. Your story is what's going to get those coaches. It's what's going to build your business. Your story is what's going to inspire people. So we all need to take a big look at our story and realize that if our story is actually something that is inspiring people or maybe something that we need to work on. So I want to share with you a few tips about building your story. The first one is that you need to be completely open and vulnerable. What I mean by this is you need to be willing to share your deepest parts of yourself and some of the worst times in your life to everybody. Why? Because people are going to relate to that. People are going to relate to you going through a hard time. People are going to relate to you getting divorced. People are going to relate to you being a single mom, having kids, anything like that. Like for example, my son was diagnosed with autism. People could relate with that. Autism is a thing that's going around with a lot of children. I worked 60 hours a week. Other moms relate to that, missing their kids. Anything that you have that other people might relate to that has been a struggle or has been hard for you, that is what you need to share with people. With your story, you need to have your past story. So this could be something that influenced you while you're growing up, maybe a situation with your parents, maybe your whole life you've struggled with eating disorders, something like that. You need to have a story about your past. You need to have a predicament for the future. You need to show people that you are a leader and you have vision for them, that this is where you're going to be if you join my team. You have to have that story. You have to have that vision. The third story that you need to have is what put you where you are today. What was that defining moment when you decided, yes, I'm going to be a coach. Yes, I'm going to sign up, order Shakeology, order Insanity, and I'm going to do this. What was that moment? Where were you at before that moment that led you to make that decision? Those three stories you need to have to where if somebody would ask you right now, why did you decide to do this? Where do you see yourself in the future? You need to be able to give them a response, and it needs to be confident and it needs to be vulnerable. You have to be able to, because that is what's going to make people follow you. That is what's going to make people be inspired by you. And that is what this business is all about. If we could share our story and we could share our hardship and inspire somebody to change their life, isn't that worth it? It is to me, because I know that if I would have never shared my story, if I would have been too afraid and it was too far out of my comfort zone for me to even think about it, that would have literally been hundreds of lives that I would not have been able to be a part of changing. Those are people that may have never decided to make that step. You have to think about that. Do not be afraid of falling on your face, because you probably will the first few times. But every time you fall and you get back up, that is a learning experience. That's going to set you up to be 10 times better next time. So practice. You need to make your story really personal, really dig deep, really think about it, write it out. You need to think about what's going to have the most impact and what most people are going to be able to feel that connection with you, because that is what it's about. They need to be able to relate to you. They need to be able to read your story and be like, oh my God, that is me. And if she could do that, if he could do that, I could do that too. Your story needs to be that way. So when you reread your story, make sure that you can see other people thinking that. You don't want people to be able to get out of your story. So do not make a novel, do not make it super duper long, but it needs to be deep, to the point, and it needs to have an upswing. What I mean about upswing is you need to start in the middle of your story. So you need to start at the most horrible part, your most vulnerable part, the part that's going to draw people in. And then you need to be precise and to the point, and then you need to upswing it into something positive. You need to upswing it to show people that they have like reason to believe. They should have faith. They should believe, because if you did this and look how you feel now, they can too. If you just leave it at a depressing moment, they're going to think, my life can never change. What was the point of this whole post? But if you're at the end, you're like, and now look at me. I have changed my life. I get to stand with my kids more. I am no longer overweight. I am healthy. I blah, blah, blah. All these positive things. That's going to give people a reason to join you because they relate to you. You need to realize that your story is important, and it's hard, and it'll be scary, and I will share more tips on building your story, and I will make another video and share my personal story so you can understand. But just realize, like really, really realize that your story is going to inspire somebody to change their freaking life. So whatever insecurities, whatever, like, if this is so out of your comfort zone that you can't even think about it and it freaks you out, get over it, because somebody out there needs to hear this. They need to hear it to literally save their life. And if you cannot get over your own insecurities, and your own fears to change somebody's life, then you are being selfish. Think about that, ladies and gents, and write your story and send it to me because I can't wait to see it. Thanks, guys. Bye.